Fantasy Football Cat here. On this show, I want to talk about 4 players that I'm avoiding this year. Now, every year, there's a number of players that I get a gut feeling about that I just avoid. I don't draft them. They don't usually appear on my team. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. So here are the players I'm avoiding this year, and you can decide for yourself what you will do with these players. The first player on my list is wide receiver Aaron Dobson from the New England Patriots. Now, the main reason I'm avoiding him this year is because he's been injured. He's had a foot injury that kept him out of OTAs and has also limited him during training camp. With the Patriots, if you don't practice, you don't play. It's also because of the number of receivers that the Patriots currently have right now. They spent good money to bring in Brandon LaFell from the Panthers, and everyone's forgetting about him, but I'm sure they have a plan for him. And of course, they have Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola, and don't forget Kimbrel Tompkins as well. So that means limited playing time for Aaron Dobson, which translates into lower stats than you might think. And don't forget that Gronkowski's coming back this year. It's sounding like he's fully healthy, so that will also limit his opportunities. The second player on my list is Anquan Boldin on the 49ers. I'm avoiding him this year because the Niners made a point to bring in Stevie Johnson from the Bills. Crabtree's going to be back and going to be healthy, and Colin Kaepernick is not very good at running through his reads. So Boldin could be the second, maybe third, maybe even fourth option on that team if you consider Vernon Davis as the second option. So that means limited opportunities for Anquan Boldin, and I'm just not going to try and squeeze out any fantasy value from him. I'll just skip him this year. Player number 3 on my avoid list is Knowshon Moreno, who was on the Broncos last year, but now he's on the Dolphins. Right now he's not playing because he's injured. He had surgery, and there are rumors that Denver ran him into the ground, and they kind of knew that, and that's why they let him go in free agency and didn't try to re-sign him. So I'm just going to avoid him altogether. Maybe he'll get it together and do well for Miami, but it's not Peyton Manning down there, so I'm just going to avoid that altogether. And the final player on my avoid list might surprise you. He's been going pretty high in drafts, and it's TY Hilton on the Colts. And the reason I'm going to avoid drafting him is, number one, he's not a number 1 receiver. He's really a number 2 or a number 3. And at least that's how the Colts want to use him and how they should use him. And last year with injuries, he was forced into that number 1 role and did pretty well. But now that Reggie Wayne is back, the Colts went out and got Hakeem Nicks. They drafted Dante Moncrief. And then their tight end, Dwayne Allen, is going to be back, he's a tremendous talent. And they still have their other tight end, Kobe Fleener, on the team. So between all these weapons, plus the running game that they want to continue to try and emphasize, I think you're going to see a lot fewer targets for T.Y. Hilton, or at the very least, there'll be games where he has good stats and games where he disappears altogether. And I don't want any part of that because it's going to be impossible to predict. Okay, that's it. Bye.